Hey, welcome to my journey. Today's video is our Lose Not Snooze challenge video. We're going to go into week 3. If you're like me, well, hopefully you're better than me. Because if you're like me, you're going to try to go into week 3 better than you did week 2. Because I stunk at week 2. I am a stinky challenge leader. I'm not doing good on my own challenge. I'm not doing good. And the main focus I had was tracking. I just halved it. You know what I'm saying? I halved it. And now I will say I do track as far as my menu plan, because I always have my calories, my protein, and my carbs on my breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So if I eat that, I know what my calories are. And even let's say if I miss lunch, it's easy enough to look at my totals and take it away and know in my head what I got. So that really the only thing I need to worry about tracking are my extras. Things that are not on my menu. I hadn't even done that. So, and I'm going to tell you this. I'm not tracking or counting, even considering non-starchy vegetables. I've been meaning to tell y'all that for a while, but I keep not having it cross my mind. But I figure I do good, and we're going to talk about food in a minute. I do good enough to eat those suckers. I'm not going to count them to worry about 20 calories worth of cucumbers in my scheme of things during the day. I'm not going to do it. I'm not. There ain't no protein to worry about. And I ain't worried about the carbs. If there's any carbs naturally occurring in non-starchy vegetables, so be it. I'm just happy to be getting them down. Anyway, so I had to go out this morning and get Flairs a new light. Her heat lamp burnt out. I just bought it New Year's Day, and it burnt out today. Now, the girl told me, she said, because we were talking about how the other one just, it blew. I mean, it blew. When it blew, it blew. It went bzzz and made a big spark and everything. They've never done, in 11 years, I've never had one do that. Kicked the breaker off and everything. So me and her were talking about it. She goes, well, now, if this one burns out or whatever, you got 30 days. So here is, what's today? The 23rd? Is the 23rd? I don't know. You know what? It's something like that. We're a week away from me having to eat almost $100. Is over $90 for that heat lamp. Yes. Do you know how mad I would be if it was like day 31 and that thing blew? Oh my gosh. There's no sense that it should have gone in 20 some days. That's uncalled for. Something you pay almost $100 for. That's just uncalled for. So anyway, I went and got that. They didn't give me no hard time, and I got lucky. They only had one. Probably the other one that was there when I bought this one. You can get them cheaper. I got this one at Petco. You can get them cheaper at PetSmart, but PetSmart wouldn't carry them no more. So I probably could have got it cheaper online, but I didn't want her to go how many ever days without one. So you just do what you got to do. Listen, speaking of, that little girl, I went to get her some bugs yesterday. They didn't have worms, but they had roaches. I thought she had worms. She's not eating a lot. She rarely eats anymore. She lets you know when she's hungry. If she don't let you know she's hungry, don't try to give her no food, because you're not it would take the jaws of life to get that food down her. She'll put them lips in. I mean, them things are strong. Them little dragons are strong. You ought to try to give them medicine. My goodness. Anyway, she had no worms. I'm like, oh my gosh, and here she is hungry. Well, I had some carrots. You know I ain't eating them. I did that one day, and I was so proud of myself. Listen, we're going to talk. We're going to talk about that in a minute, too. So I cut her up some carrots, but I was telling that boy at the pet store, I said, she's not eating much. I said, but she did eat some carrots yesterday. I said, but she don't eat them raw. She eats hers cooked. She likes her carrots cooked. So I cut them in little small cubes and I cooked them in some water in the microwave for her. And since her eyesight is so bad, she tried to get to them. I mean, they're bright orange on a little white plate, and she kept licking and she couldn't get them. So I hand one at a time right up under her so she could like look down and see it right there. So she ate them out of my hands. So she ate almost all of them, and then she quit eating. So I said, well, she's gonna work it around in her belly, get it moved around here, moved around there, start doing some digesting. So I just set the plate down. I went on about my business. A little bit later, I come back. She had to eat all but 5 of them little cubes of carrots, and I had a good little portion on there. So she got good food. She actually was able to see them and get to them, so I was happy about that. But we're going to talk about food today. I was sitting back here and working on, I meant to bring it over here. I ain't going to get it. If you remember my haul, those big bird houses from the Dollar Tree, well, I was back here working on those. I started on them yesterday. And so when I was up this morning, 3 o'clock, I said, well, I'll just go and start on my birdhouses because I had to let the stain dry from yesterday, and it was dry. And things just roll around in my mind, when I'm working. You know how that goes. And I got to thinking, why is it so hard to stick to a diet? Why is it so hard to stick to our healthy eating plan? Why is it so hard to just do what we need to do? Why? Why is food so hard for some of us? No, some of us it's not. If this doesn't apply to you, then you can ignore me. You can tune me out. But for the rest of us, I got to thinking, why is it so hard? So I started doing my little Google. You know how I go. I was Googling this and that. I was just reading little bits of this article and little bits of that article. And I thought, you know what? Today, we'll just talk about the food part of it. There's a whole mindset part of it. That you got to have the right mindset. So let's say you got your mindset right, but you're struggling in the food. You're struggling in, you got the theory of it right, but you're struggling in the practice. So like there's, in school, you got your book class, and then you got your lab, your lab class. We're going to talk about the labs today, where you do stuff. This is where you eat. So these are just, I think I got six little things of maybe some healthy eating habits we could get into. And these are not from a doctor, unless a doctor wrote any of the articles that I read. Some of it I'm just spitball. This is just kind of let's just chit chat about this. I wish I knew how to do a live and we would chit chat about it like that. Would y'all ever want to do a live in the middle of the day? Because see, that's when I'm home. Well, let me back that up. I'm home all the time, but in the middle of the day, we could go live and talk about anything you want to talk about. Let me know if you would be interested in doing a live. Kind of tell me days and times, and if you ain't, tell me you ain't. Tell me you just don't care. I'm good with that too. But the first one, and this was in the first article I read, and I put it down first because it really struck a chord with me, is respect your body. They're saying, and I can so get on board with this, because they're saying respect your body to the point that you're not forcing food on it that it doesn't like. Just for the sake of, but it's healthy. It's good for me. Respect your body. Okay? I can almost guarantee you, when I bought these yogurts at Walmart's, that I said, I got to where I don't eat them anymore, but I got them because it's good protein, and I'm going to learn to like them for the protein alone. That was probably not the word for word, but I can almost guarantee you I said that in a haul or in a discussion that I was talking about when I bought the yogurts. I can hear it coming out of my mouth. And that's exactly what that is talking about. Don't force yourself to eat something that you do not like just for the sake to say you're eating it because it's good for you. That yogurt is good for me. I get the calcium, the live things in it that's good for your gut, and I get the protein that I absolutely must have. But it is a chore. I convinced myself. Listen, like a toddler. And I put some of that zero sugar Ready Whip on it, and I ate it, and I convinced myself, this ain't too bad. Yes, it is. It's all the bad. All that. It is all that bad. It's the Dan Light and Fit, the flavors. I got them because I'm like, oh, it's been so long, but these are the good flavors. I used to like yogurt. I did. I used to like it. I think maybe I ate too much, and then I was just like, oh, I can't do it no more. I just can't do that yogurt flavor. The flavors of the yogurt are good, but that now, plain non-fat Greek yogurt, the Fage, does not bother me. I can put some berries and a drizzle of honey on that, and it is so good. I do like that. And I don't eat it like I should. I've got them blackberries in there that I was going to eat. I hadn't got around to eating. If they're not gone bad, I need to put them on that yogurt and eat it. Why am I forcing these things on me? David, let's take, for example, slaw. David would vomit. If you put slaw near his face, in this vicinity of his nose where he could smell it, he would vomit. He's not going to eat slaw for nobody. There's nothing you can do to make him eat slaw. So am I going to cook him slaw for supper? No. Let's say chicken. Okay. You like yogurt. It's good for you. That is wonderful. You keep eating your yogurt. Let's say chicken's your thing. You know chicken is good for you. The good boneless, skinless chicken breasts got all the good nutrients in it, and low fat, fat-free, really. Low calorie, nutrient dense, lots of protein. Good diet food. But you don't like it. But you're like, well, I'm going to make myself eat it because it's so good for me. Well, stop it. Just stop it. Fix yourself some beef or some pork or some fish, something that you do like, and just make up for it somewhere else. If you're counting points, I always go back to points because I know a lot of y'all are on Weight Watchers, because that's how I started my channel, was on Weight Watchers, counting points. And so I know I still have a lot of y'all from Weight Watcher days. And so I know a lot of y'all are still counting points. And I always tend to think back, okay, to refer to if you're doing points. It's 0 points. But that don't mean nothing if you don't like it. Respect what your body tells you and don't force it on yourself. Forcing yourself to eat food you don't like is just, we don't do it to our husbands. We don't do it to our kids. Well, I didn't do it to my kids. I don't know about y'all. I didn't do it to my kids. I would say you need to try it. If you don't like it, that's fine, but at least try it. If they didn't like something, I sure as hell didn't make them sit there and eat it. To me, that's mean. David won't eat tuna or something else to this day, because his, I believe, kindergarten teacher sat there and made him eat it. And to this day, he has an aversion to it. He won't touch tuna with a 10-foot pole and a 20-foot extension. You hear what I'm telling you? He ain't going to do it. He was forced, and it set that in his mind. It traumatized him against tuna. So no, if you're not going to do it to somebody else, why do it to yourself? So listen, I ain't eating that yogurt. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to throw it away, because I'm just not going to. I'm forcing myself to eat, and I'm taking calories in that I don't need to take in when I could eat myself something enjoyable. Brings me to the vegetables. I declare to you, I am going to quit trying to find ways to eat vegetables that we don't like, because we still don't like them. Like David says, you can do anything you want to do to a carrot, but it's still a carrot. And he's right. We will eat carrots in like a stew beef type situation, but not tons of them. We're not going to eat like a whole bowl full of carrots. If we get a few in there, we'll eat them, but that's that. I sat back here that one morning, and it's ridiculous. I cut me up some carrots because I was back here, I was hungry. They tell me, if you're still hungry, eat your non-starchy vegetables. Well, I had them carrots, and I cut them up, and I come back in, and I sit, and I crunched on them, and crunched on them, and crunched on them. No, I didn't die from the situation, but it was not an ideal situation. And I was so proud of myself for doing it. And then I'm sitting here to y'all right now thinking, why am I proud that I made myself eat something I didn't like? That ain't nothing to be proud of. That ain't nothing to be proud of. No. I'm going to quit. Like Brussels sprouts. I like them. I keep not making them because I have always tended to not make things separate. If he don't like them, I just tend to not make them. I just don't think about it really. I have some Brussels sprouts in the freezer right now. Well, he said if he never sees another Brussels sprout, he's fine. He's fine with that. I'm not going to make him eat Brussels sprouts and then tell him, like Miss Rachel, yay, I'm so proud of you. No, I'm not. Okay, so let's pass on this subject. Respect your body. Eat what you enjoy and enjoy what you eat. Let's leave that at that. Moderation is key. So they're saying try to eat a balanced diet daily. So daily, eat from all the food groups. So all the food groups, that includes the fat, your good and healthy fats, dairy, grains, fruits, vegetables, meats. I don't know, seafood, that's not considered a meat, obviously, but I don't know how the food groups go. So they're saying try to do that daily. Not every meal doesn't have to be all the food groups, but try to get something from all the food groups in on a daily basis. They say do not exclude any foods unless there's like a medical or some other reason that you have to. So like me, I don't exclude carbs, but I have to limit carbs because that's what, after weight loss surgery, they tell me to do. They tell me how much protein to eat and how much carbs to eat. And that means I have to severely limit my carbs from the way it used to be. Oh my goodness. Severely limited. I mean, less than 50 is a lot less than what I used to eat when I just counted points or just calories. See, like now, I still tend to look at my calories. I keep a count of them. But the focus is more on the protein and the carbs. As long as I get the right amount of protein and I don't go over the 50 carbs, that's what they want. So in my case, I'm not excluding the carbs, but I am limiting them. The article says don't exclude any foods. Try to eat from all of the food groups. This is where I take sugar. I kind of say sugar can go either way because we've talked about this before. There's nobody on this earth that's going to tell you, and if they do, run for the hills, eat more sugar. Sugar's good for you. You got to have that sugar. No, we think we got to have it, but nutritionally, well, there is no nutritional value to sugar. We do not need it. That's the one thing I think you can exclude. I exclude mine to a point. I'm still human. I'm still going to pop a sugary something in here or there. That's going to happen because I still live my life. But on a daily basis, there's not going to be sugar, a sugary treat on a regular basis. So I think you can exclude sugar and just allow for an occasional treat of that. So I think you can, and I don't know, like excluding something, even though I still have carbs. Listen, this is what I have. I have recreational carbs. That's what I was thinking about yesterday. I'm like, girl, you are eating too many recreational carbs. I think that's what happens when you exclude a food. You automatically want that food, and if you can't get that food, you're going to eat 1,000. Hold on just a minute. Sorry about that. That was my main squeeze, Mr. Smooth. Listen, he's down there. They putting the carpet in, but he's down there waiting on the plumbers. They ain't showed up. They ain't called him. They ain't nothing. He's like, you home? I'm like, yeah. He said, can you look up their number for me? Make sure I'm calling the right number. Yeah, he was. They not even answering the phone. So he's a little bit ticked off. So we talked a little while. But anyway, what I was saying, I had to go back and look at the video. I'm talking about them recreational carbs. And how when you exclude foods, that's kind of what your body wants to go to in your mind and your taste buds. Like if you exclude it completely. I have not completely excluded carbs, but I'm still wanting them because I'm not being able to eat the ones like I used to, like I could portion out, which I mean, I still can, but I just have to be careful. And carbs add up quickly, like a banana. I was looking up a banana. Sometimes I like to have one. I just like to have one. It's like 26 carbs, maybe something like that in a banana. That's half my day. So, like, the recreational ones I'm eating are like when I make stuff for David for supper and I'm not going to have it, I've been having it. Like, I make him a tater. I get me a tater, too. A little bit more than tater than I should have. You know what I mean? Little bit more. Getting that rice, you know. I had my sketty. I had more sketty than I should have. Whatever day that was we had it, I ate more than I should eat. That is one of the problems I'm having. I don't always feel full. It's happening more than it was, and I don't know why. But with that sketty, too much. So I'm eating little odds and ends here and there. I'm eating a sandwich when I don't need a sandwich. I can eat the guts of a sandwich, the meat. I don't need the bread, but sometimes you just want a sandwich. So there's little things like that recreational carbs. So try not to exclude a certain food unless you have a medical reason or whatever your reason would be. Try to eat from all the food groups. Then stay hydrated. Now, we don't even need to go into that because we know that being hydrated is important to live. Also, it helps you to burn fat. We're not going into that because I'm not doing a science lesson today. You can Google how does water help you burn fat. This has to take the water to do something to the fat molecules, to do something to this, to that. No science today. Bottom line, we need to stay hydrated. Bottom line, below that one, is I need to get better at staying hydrated on more than just coffee. I need to drink my water. I'm not doing too good at it. This is cold. Then avoid trigger foods. This one I just put down there myself. Those I think we can exclude. That's a food group we can exclude. If it's a trigger food that is going to cause you to go off the rails and binge and eat your face off. I'm going to give you about 2 seconds, if you know me, to tell me what is my trigger food. Little Debbie cakes. Cannot have Little Debbie cakes in this house. That is something I have to avoid. I cannot. I don't have common sense when it comes to Little Debbie cakes. I will eat the whole box before nightfall. It just will happen. There are other foods I can bring in this house that don't bother me. I could maybe snack on it, not snack on it, but a Little Debbie cake, if it's here, I'm going to eat it, and I'm going to eat it like in Matilda. like that fat boy on that cake. I know y'all ever seen Matilda? That's a good movie with Danny DeVito and Rhea Perlman and that little cute little girl that plays Matilda. That's a good movie. We watched it when Holly was little. But so avoid foods that are going to make you binge. I don't think that's the same as don't exclude food. That is the whole other side of excluding it, where yes, you do need to exclude it. If Lay's tater chips are going to cause you to eat a whole bag, don't bring them in the house. Now, if you live with somebody who eats your trigger foods, I don't know what to tell you, because I am fortunate that David don't care if there's a little Debbie cake in the house or if there ain't. He ain't gonna care either way. So there's nothing I have to have for him that will trigger me. Like, he likes those variety chips, like the little Doritos or the Fritos and stuff like that, to have like with his sandwiches. They don't bother me. I don't binge on those. I don't crave those. If I want a bag of chips, maybe one time a month, if that, I'll have one of his little bags of chips, and that's it. So I'm fortunate that there's nothing he likes to have that really sets me off. So if I don't even know what to tell you, I always say what we have to do is we just have to do it. And that is always easier said than done. When I have to do something, I just have to tell myself, just do it. That's not been working this last little bit. It's just not been working. I'm just not doing what I need to just be doing. So anyway, to try to eat healthier, try to avoid your trigger foods if you can. Because they can do nothing but bad things. I mean, that's why they're called trigger foods. They trigger a bad set of events that we don't need to happen. Now, this one is kind of, okay, if you do it this way, it's not working, then try it this way, and then vice versa. So, like they say, eat 3 meals a day, no snacks. Well, you could be one of them people eating 3 meals a day and no snacks, but you're being hungry, and so you're really wanting to binge. So you're not just eating your 3 full meals, which is all the nutrients and, well, I don't know, can you get too many nutrients? All the calories, points, whatever it is you need for the day, you're getting what you need in those 3 meals. But you're still hungry. You need a little something to tide you over from meal to meal. And so you're adding stuff on in the middle, and that just puts you over. Well, maybe back it down to 6 little small meals closer together. So break those 3 meals up into 6 meals. So that breakfast, maybe instead of that big breakfast, maybe you could eat a little bit here and then a little bit 2 hours later. And then 2 hours later, you start on your lunch. And then if eating just 3 meals a day is not working, try to break it up. See, I think that's what I need to go back to doing. When I first started right after surgery, of course, we were on liquids. Don't count that. Then you start on the soft foods, but you're every 2 hours is like you're drinking a protein shake, and then you're having a little something, then you're drinking another protein shake, and then you're having a little something, and you're drinking another protein shake, and you're having a little something. So you got a steady supply of food coming in all day long. Somewhere along this line, I went from about pretty much 6 meals of snacks, whatever you want to call them, a day, to now I'm basically back to 3 a day, and I don't think it's working for me. I think having a little something to, first of all, with my mind, I'm eating, so I'm doing something. I want to eat, so I'm eating, and I'm getting a steady supply of food instead of having big hours of time, big chunks of time in between, because y'all know whenever I have my breakfast, then I have my lunch. I don't necessarily need a snack between breakfast and lunch. Sometimes I eat my breakfast 5 o'clock in the morning. If I've been up at 3 and I'm already up 2 hours, I'm hungry. Sometimes I can't wait till 8 o'clock. I try to, but there's just some days I just can't. Then I eat my lunch at 12. Then I don't eat supper till 8, sometimes 7. If I get through cooking and I'm really, really tired, I'll just go ahead and eat and pretty much go to bed. But that's, y'all know, long chunk of time to not eat. I think I did better, and I think it was better on me when I had more times of eating smaller bits of food during the day. And I'm gonna go back to that. I made my menu, but I'm gonna look at it and see what I can do. See how I can fix that. But I think, and if you eat all day long, if that ain't working for you, maybe cut it back and eat 3 times a day. We're not all the same. We're not all cut from the same cloth. We're not all meant to do the same thing. Some people eat once a day. I couldn't eat once a day. Oh my gosh. I could not eat once I couldn't now because I physically couldn't eat enough food to survive a day. But even before my surgery with my big full stomach, I couldn't just eat once a day. I would go nuts. I don't know how long you get to eat. Do you get like an hour to eat whatever you can eat? I don't know how that works. But I would go nuts the rest of the day thinking about food. That's all I would do, would be thinking about food. So eat more, eat less. Whatever's working, whatever ain't working now, try the opposite. See if it works. If it does, then hey, you found something new. And this is not necessarily meaning whatever works to help you lose weight. Whatever works to help you keep a healthier relationship with food is kind of what we're talking about. I guess maybe we should have started with that. But this is not really do this to lose weight. This is do this to let's try to have a healthier relationship with food, to not have so many troubles with, I told you, fighting the food demons. That's what they are. Then finally, okay, this is why I food prep, because I need food readily available when my willpower is low. So when I'm hungry and I need something to eat, I need it to be ready. But I told you I'm tired of that. Whatever video that was, we were talking about it. I'm tired of prepping. I know I need food ready, and so I'm just going to give it a go and not prep. I'm just going to make, I want different foods. I'm going to make a menu with different foods. So I went out today. I went to Charlotte, and I knew I would probably be gone at lunch. So I got my little lunch bag that I was gifted, and I got my little portion cups that was gifted. I put me a cup of cucumbers because I had already cut my cucumbers up. That also counts as a food prep. That is a food that was readily available to me to pack in a lunchbox to take on the road, so that when I was out and about and I got hungry and it was lunchtime, that I didn't hit the drive-thru. So I did what I was supposed to do. I did it today. I grabbed a couple cheese sticks. I had those readily available. Then I grabbed a little 4-pack of nabs. Yes, they're carbs, but I grabbed them and I ate them. I did. I didn't need to. But I did. That was one of those recreational carbs. I'm not perfect. I'm not. So, but I still had the cucumbers and the cheese sticks. I was going to boil some eggs yesterday, and I didn't get around to doing it. I would have packed some of those too. But if I wanted to, I stopped at QT to use the facilities. If I needed them, I could have got me a couple in there because they always sell them in their gas stations. And then I took me a iced coffee, and I took my medicine, so I wouldn't forget to take my 12 o'clock pills. I've been forgetting. I have it set on my phone to remind me. But if I'm like I've got so used to hearing the noise that comes across when it's Alexa reminding me of something, that it kind of plays in the background and I don't pay attention, and I haven't been taking my pills regularly like I'm supposed to. So I took them with me today, and I remembered to actually take them. So try to have things ready to eat. If you have to buy stuff that's already portioned, then buy stuff that's already portioned. Pay a little bit more for it if it's easier. Sometimes the bottom line ain't money. Sometimes it has to be. Sometimes we don't have a choice but to go where the money goes. Whatever's the cheapest option for us, that's what we have to do. That's just how it is sometimes. Sometimes we're able to spend a little bit more for a convenience. Now, I buy convenience foods. I am home all day. I could cook from scratch all day. But, number one, I don't feel like it physically. And number two, I don't want to. That ship has sailed, my friends. I had those days where I was just Miss Pioneer Woman. I did everything. I mean everything. Listen, it's a wonder I didn't make my own lard. You hear what I'm saying? Well, I do say bacon grease, but still. I'm getting that back out of the freezer. I had put it up after I had my surgery because I wasn't supposed to have it. But now that I'm having no problems with any foods that I eat, I'm going to get my grease back out. But what was I saying? Can we ever get through a video without me forgetting what I was saying? We was talking about having food readily available. Too much. See, when I go off on these wild tangents, what happens? I can't come back. Oh, I buy convenience foods. I have convenience foods here. So if I don't feel like it, or if I sit over there and fall asleep, and Alexa wakes me up, Flair goes to bed at 7. David gets up at 7:30. So Alexa rings at 7, and since she rings at 7:30, sometimes 7 o'clock, I'm sitting there sound asleep. And I wake up, I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to get my supper going. So luckily, I don't plan anything that's too involved. Now, if I needed to get something in the crock pot, that's too late by then if I forgot. You know what I'm saying? And beans, if I need to make beans, I can normally get them done. If I start them at 7, I can get them done by 8 in the Instant Pot completely from dried. You don't have to soak a bean. I hadn't soaked a bean in years. Did you know that? You do not have to soak dried beans. Put plenty of water on them in the crock pot. Crank them up on high. You can have pinto beans in 4 hours. Yes, they'll be just as good. Put them plenty of water on them in the crock pot, in the Instant Pot. There you go. Depending on what kind of bean you are, how much you want to cook it. Anyway, but sometimes money ain't the bottom line, and sometimes it is. If you need to watch your money, then if there's something you need to portion, then portion it as soon as you get a chance at home. If you're tired from shopping and you come in, I'm not saying you have to drop everything you're doing and portion it right that minute, but portion it as soon as possible to keep yourself from maybe digging into it, mindlessly, because we can do that. I portion David's mixed nuts. I don't leave that jar, that can in there for him to, you know what he'll do? He'll get that can and take it back to the bed with him, and then it'll sit down there on the floor, and he'll just reach over there and just be eating his mixed nuts whenever he feels like it. And he will have eaten too many of them. He won't want to do that. So that's why I portion them out for him. I put them in quarter cup servings. That's the serving size of nuts. So buy pre-portioned foods or portion it yourself. Buy convenience foods if you must. Whatever's going to help keep you on track. So these are just a few. I know there's more. There's always more. We never hit everything. So I know there's more, but hopefully we can start figuring out how to have a better relationship with food every day. Like today's relationship is better than yesterday's relationship. And then on and on and on. Because I don't think, well, yeah, some people kind of do arrive, but not really. Because I've heard too many lifetimers, and this goes back to the Weight Watchers, say maintenance is as hard or harder than losing. Ask them. They'll tell you. Ask them. Just because they got their goal weight does not mean they have to stop. Why do you think they're lifetimers? because they're in it for a lifetime, right? They don't make lifetime and then they quit doing Weight Watchers. They stick with Weight Watchers because that's how they lost their weight and that's how they're maintaining that loss. They don't just all of a sudden say, lost my weight, buddy, I'm going back to eating just the way I used to. I'm gonna eat 6 pieces of pizza and a piece of chocolate cake. No, they can't do that a bit more than we can. So everybody can always work on their relationship with food. Always, I think. I think this is an ever evolving thing. So I hope that I can just do better every day. And so this coming week, I'm going to try to track. I declare I'm going to try to track. And I'm going to try to eat more. Not more food, more often. And see if that'll keep me maybe not wanting to eat other things that maybe I don't necessarily need. Like I don't need that extra sandwich if I eat some cucumbers, which who wants a cucumber over a sandwich? But if I just drizzle my food throughout the day, maybe that'll help me avoid the extra food when I'm just eating these 1, 2, 3 meals. So if that even makes sense, I don't know. I'm getting a little tired. So now tomorrow, listen, I shopped too much last week. Too much. So I had to give you a bonus, Chat and Hall. Yes, I did. Tomorrow, you get a bonus. A bonus. That means I've got some shopping to do this week if we're going to have one on Friday. Because I ain't got nothing for you on Friday. I ain't got nothing to show you. You're getting it tomorrow. So if I don't go shopping this week, we ain't going to have no Chat and Hall on Friday. Now who wants me to go shopping? Me. Okay. All right. Well, thank you for sticking around. Do your all your little things for week 3. Let me know how you did in week 2. Did you do better than me? Let me know. So, okay. See you next. See you next. See you on the next video.